Yo, what's up, y'all? It's the Buff Missionary. We're back at it again. Another podcast episode. I'm really excited for this one because this particular guest is someone that I've wanted to get on this pod for a while.
Yeah.
Finally able to make it happen. I swear, every time we're about to make it happen, he's going out of the country. He's going back to where he served as a missionary. But I got him just in time because he's actually leaving tomorrow to go back to his home. So,
Exactly.
this was the perfect timing. It's snowing outside. And you are not going to miss it at all, I'm sure. But without further ado, Andre, I want to thank you for taking some time to join me here on the podcast. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Okay, man. So it's a pleasure for me to be here. And I'm from Brazil. I'm Brazilian. So tomorrow I'm going back home. After 1.5 years, far from home. I'm going back home. So back in Brazil, I got a degree in physical education, and I was studying theology as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stopped theology to go to the mission field. So I stayed there for almost 3 years. And then I came here to Andrews to pursue my master in divinity.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is my background.
All right. Welcome to Andrews. You've been
Thank you,
here
man.
for maybe a year now, a year and a half?
1 year and a half.
Okay.
Yes, year and a half. So
Yeah, man.
before I was studying English, and then after my English program, so I took like 6 months of English, and after that I just started my MDiv program.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been 1.5 years so far.
All right. Halfway home, man.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yo, so I want to jump right in and ask you about, and yeah, there's a lot of good things you mentioned there I'm going to come back to as well.
Okay.
But I like to start out by asking, what does mission mean to you?
It's a ministry. It's a ministry. It's part of my life today. So wherever I go, whatever I do, I think in mission. My mindset today. So my worldview, it's based in mission. So it's part of my lifestyle. So mission is my lifestyle, and to serve means to do mission.
Yes.
Exactly.
100%, man. I agree. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned that you were studying physical education and theology at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
What led you to that combination? That's a very unique combination.
Exactly. So I started physical education back in 2008. So I got done with physical education in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I was working as a personal trainer, as a coach, for more than 8 years.
Wow.
And after those years, I decided to start a new program, because I had, a desire to serve, but I wasn't sure, how can I serve, I was always wondering, how can I serve God 24 hours a day, and, in such a way that I can just do this. And then I decided, okay, maybe I can do theology, I can be a pastor, And then in 2014, I started the program in theology in Brazil.
Okay.
And then from that point, I started, to get involved in evangelistic series and also in giving Bible studies and participating in local missions, until, when I found the opportunity to go abroad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you were kind of looking for that
Yes,
the whole time.
Exactly. And physical education and also theology, it's kind of, they complement each one, they complement.
Okay.
So I can use theology, to share the gospel, to share Jesus. I can use physical education to help people to restore, their health, to give them, advice and counsels about health and lifestyle,
Mm-hmm.
So I found, in these two areas, a tool that I can use in ministry.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. You might be the first person that I know that has been able to connect that. I know I've heard the term medical missionary before. This is maybe a little bit different, but you're
Yeah.
talking about a holistic experience, not
Yeah.
just the spiritual and the mental side, but the physical as well.
The physical as well.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's needed.
Because as a coach, as a personal trainer, we help people to treat sometimes, some types of disease, giving them exercise, giving them instruction.
Mm-hmm.
And we also help them to prevent some types of disease, helping them to keep their lifestyle, one active lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we know, the gospel, like he changed the person, not just like mentally or physically, but like the whole person, you know. So the physical part, the spiritual part, you know, like it's all connected.
That's true.
The mental part, you know, yeah.
It's really interesting hearing you say that because I have made comparisons of lessons I've learned working out in the gym to the spiritual experience. What would be some of the big overlaps that you see with something you can apply in fitness that you can also apply in the spiritual?
I always think in what Paul said, you know, like when one runner, like he wants to prepare himself like to run, so he has, you know, like to be committed, he has to be disciplined, you know. So this is, you know, like as we do exercise, you know, like we have to control our diet, we have to rest, we have to be, you know, like conscious in our lifestyle, you know, and it helps us as well, you know, like to bring the spiritual life at the same way, you know, like to live our spiritual life at the same way, you know. So if I feed my body, you know, like I have also to feed my soul, you know. So if I'm taking, you know, like good food, healthy food, like to give me, you know, like better resistance, better strength, you know, like better capabilities. So I have also like to feed my body with good stuff.
Oh,
you know,
that's so deep.
I have to feed my soul with good stuff. You know, like good thinking. So I have to care what I see, what I hear. You know, like what I do. So yeah.
Wow. Oh, man, I like that. I got goosebumps hearing you say that. Hey, I'm calling it right now. Andre's podcast is going to be the hybrid between the religious, the spiritual, and the physical. Check it out. We don't know what it's called yet, but it's coming soon, all right? You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
So, Andre, looking for this mission opportunity while you had started doing theology already, what exactly were you looking for, and what made you say, okay, this is it?
Yeah, so I was kind of confused, you know, like if I would go overseas or not, you know, as a missionary. So I was decided, you know, like to stop working as a physical educator, you know, and just focus in my mission as a pastor, as a Bible worker, you know. Because I had that mentality before, you know, like, do missions, yeah, it's like you go and preach, you know, like that was my mentality before. So if I'm going to the mission field, I'm going like to give Bible studies and to visit people and share the gospel and share, you know, like the Bible stories and the salvation in Christ, you know, which this is the purpose, you know, like this is the main reason that we go abroad also, like, and do missions, is to reveal Christ, you know. But then I just realized that, you know, the mission is like, it's not simple, go and preach, you know. So you have to use your talents in order to approach to the people,
Yes.
you know. So, and physical education was, you know, like this bridge that I could make between me and the person that I was trying to reach, you know. So in my case was the kids, you know, because I was working as a coach. I was working as a trainer in the school, you know. So I was at school working with the kids. And so that was, you know, like the connection that I was making, like between me, the kids, and between me, the kids and their parents, you know. So, but when I was in Brazil, you know, like I wasn't sure if I would go like and do missions or not, until, you know, like I just realized like how many people in the world they know about Jesus, you know, like if we like check it out, you know, like online, we're gonna see that almost half of the world population, they don't know about Jesus, you know. And the place that I went to work and serve, you know, like most of the people that live there, they never heard about Jesus, you know. So when I just realized that thing, you know, like that almost half of the world never heard about Jesus, you know, like they don't have like one Christian neighbor close to them to tell them the gospel and the good news. So that thing like just blew my mind, and then I have to go, you know. So I have to go. If like nobody wants to go, like somebody needs to go. So
Yes.
I'm single, you know, like I'm free, like I have nothing holding me. So yeah, I would
It's
just go.
time.
Yeah, it's time.
Now, the place that you decided to go to, it almost sounds the same as where I went. Why don't you tell everyone where you went?
Okay. So I know you went to a island as well, right?
Yes.
Yes, in Palau.
Uh-huh.
And I went to Palawan. So people always confuse, you know, like
Yeah.
Palau and Palawan, you know.
Yeah.
But both places, you know, like are beautiful places.
Yeah.
So I was living in the island of Palawan in the Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an island. So one of the most beautiful beaches, you know, like it's in that place in Palawan, you know, in El Nido. But El Nido, it's in north, and I was living south.
Ah.
Yeah, so like I wasn't in that paradise, you know. So I was living south of Palawan, and I was living in the mountains and not in the city. Yeah,
Man. Now, go ahead.
I was living literally in the jungle. Yeah, yeah.
Now, this is so fascinating to me because even though Palawan and Palau sound similar, the circumstances of our mission experiences couldn't be any different.
Exactly.
Like, it's in the main part of Palau, there's a few, I would call them hills, not really mountains, but it's very flat. It's easy to get from one place to the next.
Right.
The church is there, the school's there, everything you drive, no problem. But for you to get around
Yeah.
and serve the people, you had a far different experience. Tell us a
Yeah.
little bit about that.
Yeah, that was tough in the beginning, you know. So I was living in a mountain named Kamantian. So Kamantian, it's like far from the city, kind of 6 kilometers. It's kind of 3 miles or 2.5 miles, something. Yeah. So I was living close to the city, but if I wanted to go to the city, I had to hike, you know, like for about 40 minutes. So I was living in a place in where I didn't have internet easy to use. So if I needed internet, I had like to hike for 30 minutes to get you know, like a good sign.
Wow.
Yeah, a good signal of internet. You know, so I was living in that place, and yeah, if we needed something, we had, you know, like to hike. So if I need something at the supermarket, if nobody could buy something for me there, I had to go and hike, you know, like, and going out the mountains and hike down the mountains and go to the city and then come back and hike in again, carrying stuff, you know, like carrying our supplies. So our school is there, you know, our school is there. And we have more schools as well in different mountains.
Oh, wow.
So every mountain, like, it's kind of further from, you know, like the place that I was serving.
Wow.
So one mountain we called Consuli, it's 40 minutes away. Another mountain called Amrang, it's 2 hours hiking away. Another mountain, Kabgan, it's 12 hours hiking away. And we have one mountain right now in where we have a school there. The name is Marma. It's kind of 12 to 15 hours hiking.
What?
Yeah. And we sent, you know, we sent missionaries there. We sent people, you know, like to work there as teachers, you know. But today, most of the teachers that are working there, they are locals.
Okay.
You know, they are locals. They are natives. That they are there serving their own people.
Wow.
The project is there like for about 26 years.
Okay, so it's relatively young.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, what exactly did you do in the schools there?
I was teaching PE.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was teaching PE. So I was teaching PE from the kindergarten to high school.
All right.
Yeah, so I was busy like every day, you know, like with the kids. And I was also, you know, like doing some jobs of maintenance, you know, like when we needed to replace a floor at school, or when we needed like to build a, you know, like a new classroom. So, and then I was, you know, like available to go and like get some bamboos from the jungle and bring the bamboos and prepare the bamboos and then build, you know, like build the school.
Wow.
So I got there like without knowing nothing about construction, you know. But the Palawanos, they are really, really skilled. Yeah.
Wow. I guess you'd have to be to build like that in the mountains, because you're talking about hiking. The only thing that I think of is, so there's no cars up there.
No cars. No cars, man. No bicycles, nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. It's you and your feet.
And that's it.
That's it. Yes. Yes.
And I remember you telling me a story about this long trip you had to make. I I can't remember it exactly, but you had to carry someone.
Exactly. Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah. So that was the longest hike that I ever done in my life. So that hike that took like me, I think, almost 13 hours to get done with everything. So we got a call, like in the mountains. One person, she was sick, and she needed to be removed, like from the mountains to the lowlands. So she had TB, and then the helicopter wasn't available. Like we have an helicopter that helps us sometimes from the PAMAS project. It is one Adventist project of aviation,
Okay.
and they work there in the Philippines. But like by that time, the helicopter was broken. Like the helicopter was set on one mountain there, broken, and they were waiting for one part that was coming from the U.S. Yeah. So, anyways, that lady was sick and she needed to be removed because like she was really really bad. Yeah, she was in really really bad shape. And then we left, like we hiked for about 16 hours to get to her place. Yeah. 16 hours. And then we left and we had a guide, and the guide was her husband. So he came to our place to ask for help. So he hiked 16 hours just to ask us for help.
Wow.
So he came
That's
hiking
amazing.
all the way, and he slept like at the clinic, like in the clinic, like he slept there. And in the following day, in the afternoon, we left, and we were in three people hiking towards to that place. Yeah. So that was like a long hike, just to get there. But like in the middle of the hike, that was I think maybe about 8 hours. So that was late at night, and we slept on top of one mountain, and there we stayed, trying to sleep because that was too cold on top of that mountain. And we were like making fire all the time because like we needed like to keep us warm.
Yeah.
But the fire was like we had like to make fire all the time because the wind was blowing and the fire was like gone. Anyways, and then in the morning we left again. Like we woke up in the morning. Like we had like a few hours of sleep, and then we left in the morning, and then we hiked again. We started hiking again until we get to their place, and we hiked I think about 7 hours more just to get to their place. Yeah. And there, like, she was there, and she wasn't feeling really well, like, and we decided to sleep there that night, and then leave in the following morning. Yeah. So that was tough, man. Yeah.
Wow.
I was tired, and my fellows, like, they were tired as well. Her husband, he was very tired, but like he wasn't, like, he wasn't showing us that he was tired, like, because he really wanted to see her wife get better. Yeah. So yeah, he passed through all that struggle for love.
Wow.
Yes.
That's amazing, man.
Yes. And we left, like, and we carried like food, of course, but like we didn't have lots of food with us. So we just took with us like 2 bags of rice, and that's it.
Wow.
So nothing else, no vegetables, no snacks, no protein bar, nothing.
Wow.
Just white rice, well cooked. And then we had like a couple of breaks along the trail, but then like we were eating just rice, and we were getting like kind of, man, I want something else.
Different.
Yeah, I want something different, like I want like some flavor.
Yeah.
But like praise the Lord because we had like that rice to feed us along the trail. Yeah,
For sure.
And when we got to his place, like he saw us, like he looked at us, and we were really really tired. We were dying. We were like we laid down on the floor, like the bamboo floor, and we were like there, like almost almost like sleeping, like and then like he just realized that we were hungry. We were hungry. We were tired, and he went to prepare, like a food for us. And he went to, like to his place. He had like I think 2 houses, and he went to one of those houses to bring a food for us.
Okay.
And he went to the jungle also to get like some palm heart in one palm tree there, and he cut that palm tree, and he got the palm heart inside. and then he brought the palm heart, and then he brought a huge, a big chicken for us. Yeah, he brought a big chicken, and he said, "Look, this is for you guys."
Wow.
And like that was a really, really big deal because he brought to us the best thing that he had.
Wow.
Yeah, so the best chicken, like he had like that chicken, that chicken like he was saving for some special occasion. Because like Palawanos, like when they eat meat, it's just like in special occasions.
Okay.
It's just like when they have a birthday, or they have a wedding, So if one Palawano makes a chicken for you, this is a really, really big deal,
Wow.
And we were trying, like to avoid, like no, you don't have to prepare this, But he said, no, this is for you guys.
Wow.
No, this is special for you guys, and you guys have to accept because you guys came like this far to help me. So like that was him like saying thank you for us, and we couldn't reject that, like okay, and then we agreed, and like we were really oh no, don't worry, but then okay, cook because
Right.
because we were really, really hungry.
Yeah.
Anyways, he prepared that, and what is interesting, it's because like he prepared everything, and he got also like some cassava, cassava.
Yeah.
It's yuca. It's one type of root. I don't know if like the people they know that, but probably they know. So, and he brought also like some yuca, some cassava, and he prepared the yuca and the chicken and rice. Man, we ate a lot, a lot.
Man.
And he was refusing to eat with us
Whoa.
because he was, no, this is not for me.
Wow.
This is for you guys, So this is part of the Palawan culture. So the Palawan culture, like they share what they have with people. So for example, if you are walking on those trails, and you pass, in front of one house, and the Palawano, like he is eating something, or maybe they are eating lunch or eating, dinner, and you just pass and you just, like compliment them, they tell you like to stop. They say, look, stop. So I have something for you.
Huh.
And they come, like with a banana leaf with food inside, and they just, wrap that thing, and like he give that thing for you.
Oh, wow.
Like they are really, really, like they share stuff. They share stuff.
Wow.
So that is part of their culture, And when they are grateful, so they just give you stuff, So that was the best thing that he had to give us, and he gave us, So the Palawan people, like they taught me lots of good lessons, Sometimes we are really selfish, like in our own world, Sometimes we see people, like people in need, and we are not willing to fill those needs.
Yeah.
So the Palawan people, if they see you in need, so they give you, whatever they have.
Yeah.
And if they don't have, they go out and they provide to you. Yeah. If they don't have, if they don't have food to provide, they go to the jungle, and they go and look for, but they bring something.
Man, I love that so much because you hinted at it before, and even I remember going out into the mission field, my whole mentality was, I'm going to go out here and bring something to these people. And I felt like I ended up getting served more by the people there.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
I would try to give more, but they would always outgive me.
Yes. So that's something that we, as a missionaries, we think, like that we are going to the mission field to give stuff to people, We are going there, like to change their life, like I had this mentality, oh man, I'm going to the mission field, like I'm going to, like to give, stuff for people. I'm going to help people, I'm going to transform their lives by God's grace. But when I got there, man, like I was feeling homesick all the time. I was feeling in need all the time, And the Palawanos, they were, like those that were giving me stuff.
They were ministering to you.
They were ministering to me, So they were like cheering me up when I was sick, when I was sad, like they were feeding me when I was hungry. So just in parentheses, like sometimes I was in my home, like I slept during the night, like in the morning, like I woke up in the morning, and when I went out in my porch, that was, like one young coconut opened for me,
Oh, wow.
Sometimes that was, like a bowl with like rice and vegetables in the morning. So I felt just like Elijah in the desert when
Wow.
when the birds came like feeding him.
That's awesome.
So yeah, man, like God, like he really blessed me a lot through the Palawan people. So part of who I am today, like it's because I had a privilege, like to live among those people.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love that you call it a privilege. There's so many young people who have this opportunity now in places like where we are, Andrews University, other
Yeah.
universities. They have the opportunity to go out and to serve. Many of them don't look at it as a privilege.
Exactly.
Even if I want to roll it back, like there's a lot of Christians who don't think serving others is a privilege, but it really is.
It is.
Like that's everything. And to me, that's everything about who we are and who we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
That's everything about who Christ was and what he did when he was here. So if we're going to be Christians and follow his example,
Yeah.
then we have to be the same.
Exactly. And like we feel joy when we receive a gift, when we receive like something that we were not expecting. But we receive more joy when we give stuff for our people without expecting nothing in return. So when you go like to those places, like those people, they don't have much to give you. So in that place, you are gonna serve those people without expecting nothing because they don't have nothing to give you. So in that specific moment is where the joy comes.
Yeah.
When you see people, like being thankful, thankful to God, thankful for your service, like for what you are doing. So I was there in their house. I was tired, man. I was tired. But when I saw, like what he did, like he brought us food as a sign of, like thankfulness.
Yeah.
So I saw like to his wife, like she was really sick. She was breathing, struggling to breathe. And I was there, like I was tired, but then I just realized, man, like I am tired, but they need this. If we didn't come here, like nobody would come here. So, and then, like I was just, realizing, yeah, so I am in the right place. And I'm not that tired yet.
I have more to give.
Yes, I have more to give. Yeah.
I love that.
I was trying to, like to be positive, like in my thinking, because I was tired, and my friend, he's a Palawan, he was with me, like he was complaining all the time because he was used to those type of trails, but like by the time that had been like a long time without doing something like that, and like he was complaining because he was tired and stuff, But then, like afterwards we talked after that, like and he just said the same thing. The same, man, if we didn't go there, like probably she would die, or at her house or on the trail, So anyway, so that was a privilege. Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Oh, so many more stories.
Yeah. And then just to, like long story short, just to wrap down. So in the morning we left. So we tried to see if she could walk, but she couldn't. Like she was really sick. She wasn't able like to walk, because like her breath was really, really, really slow. Like she was breathing really. She was struggling a lot. And we departed, I think that was 5:30 in the morning. And then we hiked until, I think, maybe 3 in the afternoon. And we got to the lowlands carrying her. So we were carrying her. And then when we got in the lowlands, she was admitted at the hospital. And she stayed at the hospital for almost a month. Yeah. So, and I was also with them at the hospital, She was struggling a lot, especially to breathe, and like in the beginning we didn't have like one ventilator to available for her, so we had to bump the oxygen manually. So
Wow.
for 3 days straight, until we get a machine available. And then after 3 days, like the machine was available and she was breathing with the oxygen, you know. And sometimes we had to take her to do X-ray, you know, like sometimes during the day. And I stayed with them the whole month, you
Wow.
know, like helping them and helping also the doctors because I didn't mention, but like they speak a different language, you know. So the Philippine language is the Filipino, Tagalog, but the people in the mountains, they speak the native language, which is Palawano. So I had to be there to translate them from Palawano to English and from English to Palawano
Wow.
for them like to understand each other, you know. And then that was like my month, you know, like running, you know, like to one place to another at the hospital, like carrying them and helping them, or going, you know, like to the city, to the pharmacies, you know, like to bring them medicine. Because in the Philippines, sometimes we cannot find like enough medicine at the hospital, you know, and we have to go out and go to the pharmacies. And I did that like for several times,
Wow.
you know, like during the day I was looking for medicine and bringing to them, or I was going to our place to, you know, get some food and bring to her husband, you know. Anyways, that was like the whole month doing that,
Wow.
you know, the whole month doing that. And I had the opportunity to share the gospel with them. So something that I didn't
Yes.
mention as well. So they didn't have a lot of knowledge about God, you know. So they didn't know about God. So I had the privilege to read the gospel in Palawano for them
Wow.
because I had the Palawan Bible with me, and I was, you know, like always when I had opportunity, you know, like I just opened the Bible and I, you know, I just read to them, you know, like some portions of the Gospels, especially like when Jesus was healing people, you know,
Yeah.
the interaction that Jesus had with people, you know, like all the miracles, you know, and that was like bringing them like comfort, you know. So her husband, he had like a little bit, you know, knowledge about God. So sometimes he was used like to do like prayers, you know, because some missionaries, they went to his place and they taught them, you know, like a little bit about God, a little bit about Jesus, you know. And he always was praying, you know, like for God to heal her. Yeah. So anyways, like he was always also interacting with me, you know, like asking questions, you know, like and praying and, you know, like he was always trying to connect. Yeah. Anyways, that was like the whole month, you know, like, and every day I was trying, you know, like to read a little bit of Bible here, you know. But, you know, I was just realizing that she wasn't getting better, you know, like she wasn't getting better. So her problem was really, really serious, you know, and we were trying our best. The doctors also, they were trying their best, you know. But when I saw that, like, her health was, you know, like, decreasing, so, and then I just changed, you know, like, my approach. And I started to tell them about the second coming of Jesus, you know. So I told them about, you know, like, when Jesus come again, you know, like, we are not going to have, like, more sorrows or more pain, you know, more sickness, you know. I was always emphasizing, you know, like the fully restoration that Jesus is going to bring. And then, you know, yeah, I was sharing them, you know, like the hope that we have in Jesus. Yeah. But anyways, man, like after a month, you know, like struggling at the hospital and trying our best, you know, but like the disease was really aggressive, and unfortunately she died. Yeah, she died at the hospital. And then we took her body back to the mountains. So when she died, the helicopter was available again. And then, you know, like we didn't have to hike with her body back to the mountains, which we should have done with the helicopter wasn't available. And then we just sent her body back to the mountains, and her husband also, he went back to the mountains, and they buried her like on the mountains because that was like her wish before. So she said us, if something happened to me, please take my body back to the mountains.
Wow.
Yeah. And then, yeah, so her body's there, and her husband also, he's still living there in the mountains. Yeah. And one thing really, really interesting, like I left there, you know, like after 2 months after that, I left. Yeah. So I went back to Brazil, and I didn't see like her husband again, you know. But after a few months, I was online on Facebook, you know, like just scrolling, you know, like seeing like the updates. And the nurse that she was working at the clinic in our project by the time. That was last year. And I saw, like one picture that she posted. And in that picture, I saw that guy. So her husband was there at the clinic again. And he was bringing like more people, like he brought like, I think maybe some relatives, because maybe they had like malaria or something, And I started like to message the nurse, like to ask for about him, And she said, look, Andre, like he's here and like he is talking about you all the time. So he came here, the first person that he was looking for was you.
Wow.
Yeah, so he came here like looking for, where is that guy, like that American guy that was here, like, and he helped me, like, for them, like all missionaries, they are from here, United States, So where is that American boy, And then, like she said, oh, he's back in his country, and she said that he got a little bit, sad a little bit. But anyways, the main point is, so the nurse told me that, like every morning when they did like worship, like he was participating with them as well, sharing stories about Jesus, sharing stories, probably, like stories that I had shared with them, And he was also, like giving, like praise to God and giving them, like prayer requests. And like he was participating, And I just, like, I just thought, man, this guy, like he doesn't know about Sabbath, He doesn't know about the, like the prophecies of Daniel, The only thing that he knows is, like about Jesus and his power to heal people and the hope that he brings to us, So he just knows, like a little bit about God, not so much. And he still, like sharing, like the little thing that he knows, he's sharing with people, So what I'd like to think now is, like maybe right now he's back in his place and he's sharing, like those stories with those people around him, Because 99% of the people that live in those mountains, they are natives. So they never heard about Jesus, about God. So most of them, they never been to the city. So some of them, they never saw a car, a book, So they live literally deep in the mountains, And that is their life, like for generations, And I like to think, like that he is one small dot of light in that mountain.
Yes.
And Jesus said, like you are the light of the world, And the light doesn't need to be, like under the table, but on top,
Yes.
And he's living on top of that mountain. He's the light over there. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I love it. I'm getting goosebumps again just hearing you talk about that.
And I want to go back there, man. I want to go back there and hike, like for, I don't know, for 15 hours again, like just to see how things are going there.
Yeah, for sure.
Like to see him, like to spend time with him, to spend a week with him. So this past April, I went to the Philippines again to the same place. So I helped to build a school there. We built a school. Praise the Lord. The kids, they are going to the school now.
Let's go.
To that mountain, But I haven't been to his place. Yeah, so now I have to go back, man. And I'm planning to go back next year on July.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe build another school, and take advantage to go and visit him.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
See, this is why I love doing this so much. Hearing these stories, and it's like it only has to be one person. We have these ideas within. And you touched on it too. There's this idea within Adventism of we have the truth and we got to go tell it to everyone. And as long as I tell it to them, then I've done my job. And if you don't accept it, then shame on you, kind of a thing. When really, if we can live with one person and impact them in a positive way, that's everything.
Exactly.
And, man, you won't know until you get to go back and visit him again just how much that interaction was a blessing to him.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
that's amazing, man.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
excited. We're gonna have to do an interview again after you
Yeah.
get back.
Let's do it. Let's do it, man, for
Because
sure.
I want to know, man. I'm on
Yeah.
the edge of my seat here. I want to know.
Maybe I can take you with me, man.
Hey, even better.
Let's go, like, and you can witness, like, with your own eyes.
Yes. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
Yes. So next year, July.
All right. All right.
Yes.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
We're gonna
cool.
have to book that. Let's go.
Sure, bro. Yeah. Let's do it.
Oh man. So Andre, you spent there. You said almost 3 years your first time,
Yes. Yeah.
and then
Almost
you
3
came
years.
here to start seminary,
Yes.
and
yeah.
then went back to visit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
What do you think were some of the? How did that experience really change you and change the way that you viewed the world when you came back?
Like that was hard for me. That was hard for me when I left the Philippines, the Palawan, because when you are immersed in a culture, like especially like one tribal culture like that, like it changed the way that you perceive the world, So when you leave that place and you go to your home country, like things get, like sometimes really 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 tough, So yeah, but like the experience that I had in Palawan, like just changed my mind to understand a little bit more about evangelism, about like preaching the gospel and all those kind of stuff, So I just realized that, like, yeah, I left Brazil like just thinking, man, like half of the world, they don't know about Jesus, But when I went to Palawan, I saw people there, they never heard about Jesus, but they live the principles of the gospel without knowing it,
How about that?
Exactly. So like today I just know, like there are people, that they live the principles of the gospel, like they are kind people, they are people, like with a good character, They are there, like, and sometimes they live the Christianity better than us.
Talk to him now.
So it doesn't mean, like the people that live in those places, like they have nothing, like to give to the world.
Yeah.
They have. So they have so much that I went there, like pursuing, like to reach them, and they reached me. Like, so my life changed, like from that experience, But anyways, today, man, like I'm here at Andrews, like, and people always say, hey, man, like, what you're gonna do next? And I always tell them, man, I have no idea, So I'm living like one day after day, one day up, like, so I'm not worrying about, like what I'm gonna do next, but for sure I will go to some field,
That's what I'm talking about.
So I don't have, so right now I don't have, like the desire to serve in a Christian country, So I have no intentions of going back to Brazil. I have also no intentions to stay here, serving here, because if you have the desire to go, like, and really go to those places, those not so easy places to live, and you have this desire, so you have just to trust in God and go, So today, I am hoping to be back to the mission field. I don't know, to Palawan, but of course, like to somewhere in the 1040 window. Yeah.
Wow.
But something interesting, people there, like you can find, as I said, you can find people that live the principles of the gospel, like people that live, like one life, like people that are, good people, with a good character and stuff, like, but you have to point them, like, man, why you are so good like you are, why you have like this personality so beautiful, so why you are so hospitable, so something is in you, that makes you what you are, so yeah, our goal is, like to go to those people, like, and present God to them, present the Bible, So reveal them, reveal God to them, reveal the Bible to them, like to share to them, like why the things is how it is,
Yeah.
you know.
Man, I appreciate that, and especially the perspective that, again, I'm always thinking about it in terms of how I used to see the world pre-mission and after mission. And pre-mission, it was always, I need to go and make everyone an Adventist Christian because unless they are, then they're going to be lost. There's nothing good in anyone who's not. And mission changed my mind on that because, to your point, there's a lot of evidence of God all over the place, even in places where people have not heard of God. And then I love what you're saying here. It's not about saying this is something completely different and new that I'm bringing to you, but I'm going to give you a new or a different perspective on looking at the way that you see the world, so you can see, wait a second, this stuff was here all along.
Yes, exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
So, for example, in the Palawan culture, so they are animists. So they worship the spirits. They worship the nature, so they worship the tree, they worship the rice. So for them, there are, like the god tree, the god rice, and like they worship all those kind of gods, And when I was there, like I was just listening to them, like trying to learn their beliefs and stuff. And like the bridge that I used to like fill this gap, like between what I believe and what they believe was the creation. So I brought the creation, like to them. And then I was asking them, look, you believe, like that the tree is a god, but like who made the tree? Like because like in order for the tree exists, it has to exist also a seed, the ground, like so where those things came from. And like I was asking them questions, like, and they were thinking about that, like, and like they were, oh, that's true, like I never thought about it before. And that was, like the bridge that I was trying to make, so from my belief to their belief, and trying, like to show them another perspective,
Yes. That's such a valuable approach. It's easy in the world of religion to say, I believe this, so anyone who believes something that's not this is wrong. And I was just having a discussion actually online with a video that I posted a couple days ago with someone who, the statement that I said was something along the lines of, we don't really believe that God is as good as he says he is, because we don't really live in accordance with that goodness. And someone's response was, God isn't good or bad. He might be fair, but that's about it. And someone came on strong and, no, you're wrong, and it's this and this and that, and quoted all these Bible verses. It's like, wait a second. We don't know why that person said that.
Yes.
We don't know what their background is. We don't know what they've experienced. I don't even know that they know all the Bible verses the way that this other person does.
Yeah.
So I can't go into that kind of a conversation with statements of my knowledge.
Yes.
I have to go in with curiosity and my questions.
Yeah.
And that's how we can bridge the gap.
Yeah.
Even if I'm 100% convinced that what I have is right, it doesn't give me the right to just make these statements against what everyone else is thinking.
Yeah.
Because in reality, they think they're 100% correct as well.
Yeah.
So me coming with statement and trying to prove my knowledge is only going to result in this as opposed to curiosity.
Yes.
And now we can have a conversation.
Yeah. So like there, I had like conversations with like witch doctors, like with people that believe in spirits, worship the spirits, I couldn't just go and say, man, like all these things, like these things, like it's a false god, like and all those kind of stuff, So I had to go and like show them, like one different perspective, without saying, oh, this is wrong,
Right.
So I had to contextualize, like the message. So when I was there, so I didn't need like to go and preach to them the same way that I was used to preach in Brazil, to preach to Christians, So I was there talking with people that never had, like one experience with God, or people that never had heard about the gospel yet, So that was, I had to find ways, And also like when we were like sharing the stories about Jesus and the parables, you know, like sometimes we just needed, you know, like in order like to make that story easy for them to understand. We had to, you know, get some things that were related to them. Just like instead of say, you know, like the mustard, you know, like say the rice, you know, the grain of rice, you know, because they were familiar
Right.
with rice.
And that's what Jesus did.
Yeah, they don't know what mustard is, you know. So you have to show them something that they can see and they can think, you know, oh man, yeah, I know this, you know, like the rice, it's really small, you know, like so the kingdom of God, it's just like rice.
Yeah.
Like today's a seed, and after like couple of months, you know, like it's a big plant, you know, like so this is our faith and stuff, you know.
I love
So,
that. There's
anyways.
this other idea as well. Like this is hitting so many chords, and this is why I love mission so much. We really get a chance to see true spirituality the way it should be applied, not in this kind of corporate we're right and they're wrong kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many people I've had discussions with, people who have been Adventists for a long time, who think that if there's anything that I do to approach the gospel or someone from a different background a different way, that I'm watering down the truth. And that now what I'm telling them is not truth, and I'm not being true to the gospel because I'm trying to relate it to that person. And what you're showing here in this illustration with the rice is it's more than okay and even needed because it's not just about me saying what I believe to be true.
Yeah.
It's about me communicating something that someone can respond to.
Yeah.
And if I don't create that opportunity for them to respond, is it even really truth?
Yes.
It's like you mentioned they had Palawan. It's like if I say something in English to them and then get mad at them because they're not understanding me.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
That's what it's
like
like trying to reach people with spiritual things, and some of us have a problem with that, and it's beyond my understanding. Well, I'll say now it is, because before I think I would have thought the same way, but now thanks to mission and getting to see the differences out there, it's like, you know what? It does matter. I need to find out more about that person, how they live and what they believe, how they worship, to relate to them. And that's okay.
Yeah. Because, you know, like, I was living in my country. So, like, I didn't need, you know, like, to get to know people's belief in Brazil, you know, like, to reach them. Because I already know, like, what they believe. So, or they are Christians, you know, like, or they are atheists, you know. So, I just... you know, I already know them. But when I went to the Philippines, you know, so I was entering in a different world, you know. So with different people, with different mindset, with different culture, you know, like people that, you know, like eat differently than me, you know. So I had to really get to know them, you know. I really I needed like to get into their culture, you know, and learn their culture. So I needed like to get to know how to live like them, you know. So that was interesting because when I got there, I was trying, you know, like to walk, you know, like with boots, you know, and stuff. And then I just, you know, like I was looking around me and I was seeing everybody walking, you know, like with flip flops or barefoot. And then I just, oh man, you know, like I think maybe I have to change a little bit, you know, because I wasn't, you know, like by the time. I wasn't, you know, like willing too much, you know, like to be different, a lot different from them, you know. And then, okay, so let me just walk with my flip-flops as well. And I was walking with flip-flops, you know, like just to be more like them, you know. And when my flip-flop broke, you know, like I didn't have flip-flop to walk because like the city was far. And I walked like barefoot for almost a month.
Wow.
With them, you know, like that was the way that, you know, like I was living. So it doesn't mean that we have, you know, like to walk barefoot when we are, you know, like in the mission field. But you have to be like close to their reality. You know. So you have to go to their house. So you have to sit down with them and share a meal with them. You know. you have to eat just like them, you know, like they eat like with their hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there, I was like, man, where's the fork? Where's the spoon? You know, like, was man, no, like they're eating with their hands. So this is part of their culture. So I'm here, you know, I am not one insider, you know, like I'm one outsider. So I have to understand them because I wanna serve them. I wanna reach them. So I need to learn about them.
Yes.
You know. So the first thing that I did when I was there was just getting to know them, you know. So I had my task to teach PE, you know, but besides that, I spent more time, you know, like learning their language and learning their culture, learning, you know, like their beliefs instead of doing other things, you know. So because the connection starts when you sit down with them and you eat with them, you know. That starts the connection. You know?
Man, I love this. I really love this. Because what you're saying is that the gospel is about people. It's not about what we think is right or wrong. It's about people.
Yeah.
And it's hard for us to look at it that way or as more of an idea or more than just an idea when we're here. Like back at home, you mentioned it. When I don't have to relate or think about relating to someone because we already think the same way or we already eat the same way or we walk with the same kind of designer, whatever, it becomes about, okay, are we all doing the same things?
Yes.
But when I go to a place where we're not doing the same things anymore, that can't be the baseline.
Yeah.
The baseline has to be people, and it was always designed to be people.
Yeah, yeah, that's correct, you know. So I believe, you know, like, and now I realize it, you know, the gospel is about relationships. It's relationship, you know. So Jesus, when Jesus was here, like Jesus, he wasn't alone, you know. Like he started his ministry alone, but like he, you know, like really quick, he just found, you know, like 12 more to be with him. You know, like, so Jesus, he was a relational being, you know. So we are also relational beings.
That's right.
You know, so the gospel is about relationships. So the church is about people, you know, like people compose the church and not a person alone, you know. So we were not created to live in an island by ourselves, you know. So, and when we are in missions, you know, like you have to get involved with people, you know. So you have to smell people, you know. So I like one expression in Portuguese that one pastor said, you know, like he said, pastor needs to smell sheep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like you, the pastor that smells sheep, like it means that like he is involved with the sheep,
right?
You know, like during the day, you know. And when the pastor like comes close to you, you already know that who he is, you know, like, oh,
because he smells like you.
Yeah. Like you smells like those ships because like you were with them.
Yes.
You know? So like we have to smell people, you know, like people like, and like we have to have, you know, like a sincere intention, you know, like to help people, like to serve them, you know. So, and this is, you know, like what matters in life.
That's right. That's the gospel, man.
That's
what makes it good news.
That's the gospel, exactly. So, and one thing that, you know, like it's that was really powerful when I heard that. So in the mission class a few weeks ago, you know, Professor Tompkins, he said, you know, like he shared with us, you know, like one principle that is really, really powerful to me right now, you know. And I lived this principle when I was in the Philippines, but I didn't realize that. He said, one of the most intimate connection that you can make with people is when you sit with them and you share a meal with them. So this is one of the deepest relationship that you can have with somebody. When you go with somebody and eat with them, like you are sharing, you know, like a meal, like you are relating with that people in intimacy. You know. So when you are in missions, you know, so, and I heard that before I go when I was participating in the missionary training in the AFM training center. So one of the teachers, he said, you know, like you don't have to do crazy things, like when you are there to connect with people. The only thing that you have to do, so go to your house, so get, like good stuff and make a good meal and go to their house and just say, look, I just brought this and I want to eat with you. So this is the only thing that you have to do,
Wow.
And I was there in the Philippines, and like I remember like some people, they were hard for me to connect. They were like people, they were hard for me to connect, or they were shy, or they were, like not so open, like to interact with me. And I was like, man, how can I get close to those people, And I just had a thought, like the Holy Spirit brought me a thought. Look, you know how to bake, like a good bread. So your mom taught you, like, and that bread is so good, So why you don't make that bread and share with them? And then I was, man, yeah. So I don't have an oven, but my friend Kuya Naphtali has an oven, And I went to his house to ask for his oven, And I got that, and then I prepared, like a bread, homemade bread. And then, like in the same day, I went to those houses to share with those people, And they were really surprised. They were really surprised because like the missionary, he came and he brought us food, And he brought us bread. They call bread tinapay. You brought tinapay to us. Thank you very much. And then after that, we started a conversation, And yeah, man, like, and then like I was, starting, a relationship with them. So I was getting to know them, and then we became friends, So that's the way. That's the way.
Tinapay.
From the tinapay. From the tinapay,
It's amazing.
Yeah. So like, man, we don't have to, like to reinvent the wheel, the road. We don't have to reinvent the wheel, man. Like it's as simple as just cook and share with people, Or cook and invite people to your place. Look, come to eat with me, Like I made like one special thing for you, So and from that point, like the Holy Spirit will take care.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because that's something anybody can do.
Yeah, anybody
You
can
don't have
do,
to go
man.
through seminary to be able to do that.
Exactly, man. Like you don't have to take like all those classes. Like you just have to. Okay, so I have a recipe. I will make this food and I will share with people. Like and get to know them and start a relationship.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to cook, just go and buy one baguette. and bring to your friend.
There you
Like
go.
and sit down with him and just share a meal.
Man, if somebody did that to me, I would be very pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
But that'd be awesome.
Yes.
We can do things like that, little things like that. We can do that.
Yeah, and now you think like, I didn't start that, So I wasn't the person that started doing that thing. The Palawanos did that first to me, So they brought their food to me first. And then I just realized, man, like, I think, the Holy Spirit, of course, I think this is the good point, like for me to do in order like to get to know people and to connect with them,
Yeah.
So let me just share whatever I have, and then like from that point I started, like getting to know everyone in the mountains. Yeah.
Just
Everyone.
like that.
Yeah. So now when I go back to the mountains, like I know everybody, like from in that place in where I was working close to the city, like 3 miles, or in those far places, like 12 hours hiking,
Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, such great impact from just someone who's willing to go.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what it's about. That's why I love sharing these stories. We want to let you all know as a listeners that you don't have to have your master's degree or doctorate. We're pursuing those things, but you don't have to have those to have a positive impact on someone.
Yeah.
You just have to be willing to go. That's what it's all about. Just be willing.
Yeah.
And God can use you in ways that you don't even think to where you'll know everybody on all the mountains in the south of Palawan.
Exactly.
Man.
You just have to have, like a heart willing.
Yes.
A willing heart, to serve, to interact, like to deny yourself, to deny your how can I say that? I forgot, man, that expression, to deny your comfort, like to step out of your comfort zone.
Out of the comfort zone, yes.
Yes, to step out of your comfort zone, So, but like it's worth, like it's something worth to do. Yeah.
Amen to that.
Like for those that like steps out of their comfort zone in order to serve people, so they can be sure that they will not regret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they will not regret.
That's facts.
Yeah,
I support that 1,000%.
Yeah, I can tell also, man, because like it's not always like romantic,
Mm-hmm.
It's not always like just good moments and like good experience, like all the experiences are good, the good experience and the bad experience,
Mm-hmm.
but we pass also like through hardships, but we are sure, like that even the hardships teach us,
Yes.
Like how to endure in life, So I have a couple of stories as well about hardships that I passed in Palawan, and maybe one day I can share also,
We'll have to
Yeah.
bring them back.
Yeah. Because I like to tell people that like when you serve God, like you experience amazing moments, you make really deep connections with people, So yeah, so it's all good, but also sometimes you pass through valleys,
Mm-hmm.
and those valleys, like it's those moments when you start like to wonder lots of things,
Mm.
and yeah, so sometimes I like to tell people like both sides,
Yes.
both sides, but in the end, like it's all about growing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's true. You
Like-
need all of that.
yeah, you need both, like you need both. Just or on top of the mountains or in the valleys, like God, He teaches you, like always something,
Mm-hmm.
and you can you can pass through that, and in the other side you can become a better person,
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so the hardships makes you strong
That's true.
and prepares you to the other hardships
That's
ahead,
right.
Yeah.
We shouldn't run from. I'm glad you brought that up because it's
Yeah.
true.
Mhm.
It's like going back to fitness, right?
Yes.
You only get stronger by suffering.
By suffering. Yes. So you have to get sore,
Yes.
Yeah, you have to get sore, but like after 2 days, you will be ready, like to work out again, like at the same intensity or even better,
Mhm.
So that's how the things works when you are serving God as well.
Yeah.
You know?
There's that connection again.
Yes, that connection, man. Yeah. So we can make those connections all the time.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, tune into this podcast. It doesn't have a name yet, but coming soon.
Yes, yeah.
Andre, last question I have for you here.
Okay.
What would you tell someone who's curious about missions, thinking about going, not sure if they want to? What would you say to encourage someone in that position?
So I would like to say, so this is the best choice that someone can ever make, which is serve people. Because the reward of serving people, like it's unmeasurable, So, we don't have to go, like overseas in order to serve, like because we have like plenty of people around us in need, like in need of attention, in need of love, in need of care, like, and we have those people around us, and we have to minister them, So we have to start whatever we are, So if we are here at Andrew, so we have lots of students around us, So we can, like feel their needs,
Yes.
But also, like, if we have the desire also, like to go overseas, like to experience, like a new culture, to have, like a new type of environment to live, like, and serve people in that way. So I encourage people to go as well. So the only thing that they have to have, like, it's a willing heart. So as you said, they don't have to have a PhD or a master in theology, or any type of degree in order to go and make a difference, in order to go and serve people. They just have to, like stand up and say, God, I'm willing to go. Just send me. So take me to those places that you have your children there. Take me to those people that you want to reveal you through me.
Mm.
You know, you just have to be willing to go, man. Yeah.
Willing. That's it.
Yeah, and I can tell, man. Like if you go, if you know, like have this experience, you will never be the same anymore.
Mm.
You will never be the same anymore. So your life is gonna change, and not just your life is gonna change. Not just your life will change, but the life of the people around you will change.
Mm.
Your family will change. Your parents will change. Your sisters, your nephews, you know, your friends, you know, like all people around you will change as well.
Wow.
Because you stepped outside of comfort zone and you said to God, God, use me.
Wow.
You know? So that's really interesting, man. Like when God changes us, he doesn't change just us, you know, but he can use us to impact other lives as well.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Exactly. Exactly.
Man, Andre, I couldn't have said it any better myself. I want to thank you again for being willing to spend some time with me here on the pod.
It's a pleasure, man.
We're definitely
Finally, we made it, man.
Finally.
Yeah. Almost 1 year after I met you, man. More than a year, man.
It's true.
Yes. More than a year.
It's a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's a little embarrassing. It has been more than a year.
No, yeah. But like, you had like your responsibility at the seminary. I had to, you know, like, and then I was involved in going to Palawan and stuff. But yeah, praise the Lord, here we are.
Yes.
Here we are, man.
For such a time as this, man, I love it. I love it.
Yes. And man, I just tell you know, like anytime you wanna invite me again, you know, like I'll be willing to come. You know, like. Yeah, just let me know, and I will come back for sure.
We're gonna make it happen for sure.
Let's make it happen. Yeah, man. Yes.
And yo, for y'all who are listening, I want to thank you for taking the time and joining us on the podcast. Once again, this is Andre Rodrigues with us here, and he's got so much more to his story. We're gonna explore that in the future. Mm-hmm. And if you happen to reach out, send me a message. I'll get you connected with him if you want to hear some of those stories, awesome stories as well. But we're done with this episode, and I just want to say this before we go. To exist is not enough. We out here to be out here, to be willing out here. That's how we're going to make a difference. So thanks again for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Bye.